Greetings everyone, this is Walk, Ride, Fly joining in on a very, very cold, windy Easter day from Manhattan, New York City. Happy Easter everybody, happy Easter. I hope everybody's doing well. And today is obviously April 17th, 2022. It's a Sunday. And the temperature is, let's see, 41 degree Fahrenheit. But it does feel like it is 25 degree Fahrenheit today. I gotta be honest. It is very, very windy and cold. This is what I meant about spring in New York City. So one day it's nice, beautiful, pleasant, bearable, amazing, fantastic. And then 2 days later, temperature drops and it's completely different. We feel like we're in Canada. No offense to our Canadian friends. Or maybe upstate, in Buffalo, New York. Happy Easter, everybody. Greetings to, let's see, James is the first one today. James C., greetings. Happy Easter to Alex Mondelli and Cindy Mondelli. Greetings to you both. Monica E. Fiore, happy Easter. Susan Mitchell, Jason is here. Daryl Yannick is here as well. Happy Easter to all of you. Elwin Ralph, James C. Lee Arnold, happy Easter all the way in the UK and London. Avix Girl is here too. Haven't seen you for some time. I hope all is well. Happy Easter to you, Cioli. Did you make it safe back to Paris? I hope you did. Gary Ting, it's Easter time, Governor. Absolutely. Today is Easter. Greetings to you, Cynthia Carmen Christine. Greetings to all of you. All right, let me just show you a little bit of what we're dealing with. Ricardo Holloway, greetings to you as well. Your name just slipped. Let me show you what we're dealing with today. Happy Easter to you, Jason Thomason. Greetings, and a happy Easter. Oh, you made it safe already? Nice. That's good to hear. All right, friends, so no more shorts, no more t-shirts. We are wearing jackets, and some people are wearing, I don't know, scarves, extra layers, long johns, Yep. Back to fall, friends. It's back to fall. No spring in New York. There's no spring in New York. All right. Let's go down this way. Apparently, there's some type of parade going on Fifth Avenue. So let's go check it out.
She wants to stay. She cannot stay unless we need her.
See what people are up to, on Easter Sunday. And obviously, I'm going to take you to some of my favorite places. Possibly stop by churches, Today is a day to be in good spirit, to be positive as much as possible, Ooh, it is very windy, friends. It is windy. I'm using my mic though, so hopefully you're not hearing too much of the wind noise. I hope you're not hearing too much of the wind gust. All right, friends, so as you can see, the city is kind of busy, but not really busy, at least on this side, as you can see. Easter parade near St. Patrick's. Yes, the Bonnet parade, right? All right, friends. This is what I like to do for you guys on a beautiful day like today. Look at this view right here. Look how beautiful that is. All right, so let's go to 5th Avenue. See what's going on. Until we get there, it's probably gonna be like a minute or two. All right, friends, I want to show you here Alexander Theodoros. So this is a good Greek restaurant. So if you're in the city and if you're craving for some Greek food, this is a good spot. Souvlaki Grill. They have a couple of locations. This is one of them. They have one in the Lower East Side. And this one. I think they probably have more. Probably have more in Queens. By the way, Queens has the biggest Greek community in New York. And I think that's actually the biggest Greek community in the country, if I'm not mistaken. You have generations of Greek immigrants who live in Queens. Oh, I just saw a California license plate. Oh man, why did you go? Slow down. Slow down. All right, I'm gonna walk fast so that I can fight this cold or this freezing weather. Ryan Thomason, happy Easter from Texas. Jason Thomason and Ryan Thomason, happy Easter to both of you. Teresa, happy Easter to you as well. Andrea Worrell, greetings from Barbados. Have a happy and a wonderful Easter, you as well. Happy Easter, everybody. Today is a good day. All right, I see that it's getting more crowded, more and more crowded as we approach 5th Avenue. So hopefully it gets better. And let's see what the action is. Let's see what people are up to. Wow, everybody's selling hats today. All right, friends, now we are approaching 6th Avenue, 56th Street. We're on the west side. Happy Passover as well. Happy Passover, Good Friday, Like all the good holidays happen on the same weekend, which is awesome. Which is a coincidence, right? Kind of rare. All right, friends, and here is one of my favorite places to get lamb biryani. If you're in New York City and you are craving for some good lamb biryani, try Bengal Tiger Indian food. I mean, I haven't been here for maybe at least a year, so I don't know if it's still that good, but it used to be very good. And during the lockdown, during the pandemic, they were one of the few places that were open. The name is the Bengal Tiger. And then later on, during the pandemic, they reduced their hours and You know, they were only working maybe like 5-6 hours a day. They're only open for 5-6 hours a day. And then later on, I think they closed completely. And then, yeah, after some time, they opened again. In any case, the name is Bengal Tiger. They got some good lamb biryani. That's the only thing I get over there. I've not tried their other lamb biryani. That's one of my go-to places. Happy Easter to you, Valerie HM. Happy Easter. James C. is Happy Easter to everybody from Israel. Alona Ailarov. Happy Easter to you and happy Passover. James is saying, I saw somebody on YouTube scoop out the dirt in the pavement in New York to see how much gold and diamonds there were, and there were loads. Really? Maybe at the Diamond District, maybe? That must have been at the Diamond District. I don't know if there's gold over here in New York. I don't think so. Probably just like a petri dish of like viruses and bacteria, maybe. Gold and diamond? Over here? I doubt it. Maybe at the Diamond District, maybe. Maybe. Happy Easter to you, Alejandro Espindola. All right, friends, we are approaching Fifth Avenue. Let's see what's going on. Looks like some people are wearing some fancy hats, some colorful hats. Oh, look at that. So yeah, most of the road is actually blocked for traffic for obvious reasons today, as you can see. Greetings, Darrell, and we have Andy from Scotland. Hey Andy, I have a question for you. Is the national animal of Scotland a unicorn? I keep hearing about that, I keep reading about that, but I have a hard time believing it. How do you make a unicorn your national animal? All right, friends, it's Easter Sunday everywhere, and this is Fifth Avenue Presbyterian Church. One of the most beautiful churches on Fifth Avenue. There's a couple of them. And this is one right here. Look how beautiful this church is. This is the Fifth Avenue Presbyterian Church. And inside is even more beautiful than the outside. Sorry, not true. It's not true, Andy. All right, that's what I thought. But I did read about that at a couple of places, so I just wanted to confirm. I'm gonna look it up again. I'm like, how is that even possible? Hi from the UK, new here, enjoying the walk with you. Thank you, Tam. We do have a couple of people from the UK. Of course, my favorite ones are from London, because I'm a Londoner. So I like seeing people from London. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not from London. I wish I could be from like multiple places at the same time, you know. But it's good having you. All right, all the fancy hats. Okay, more and more. bunny clips. All right, so yeah, the entire Fifth Avenue is blocked, as you can see. No traffic. I mean, it should be this way every Sunday, to be honest. It should be just like this on Sundays. You know what I mean? Just looked it up. The national animal of Scotland is the unicorn. That's what I keep reading. And then I ask people from Scotland and they're like, no, not true. So I'm like, what is the truth then? See, Susan Angles, thank you so much, because I've read it on a few websites, you know, I've watched videos about it. Like, I didn't like do an extensive research. It was like short clips, you know, short videos, but you know, yeah, I did read the same thing. Happy Easter to you. Hi from Isle of Wight, UK. White, is that how you say it? Isle of Wight? Thank you for joining, Andy. All right, let's see what people are up to over here. Looks like there's a little bit of Irish, what is it called? Circle dancing? That was a nice swing dance, right?
Move up, guys, move up. Everybody, move up, move up, move up.
It's definitely a beautiful day here. Good dances, right? All right, let's see what's going on over here. Happy Easter to you, Milagros Ortiz. All right, these guys, I think the same guys that perform at Times Square. I'm not gonna wait for them. We can see that on another day. Let's focus on the other stuff for today. I thought it would be more crowded than this, but it looks like it's not that crowded. Oh my God, look how tall this guy is. Look at this, friends. He has to be at least like 7 foot something at least. 7.5 maybe. Oh my. Anyway. Greetings to you, Terry. Greetings, greetings. Happy Easter to you, Kelly. I listen to a lot of very calming sounds like this one. I love this. I can listen to hours of this and like on YouTube. It's very calming. All right, friends, more nice hats, cool hats, fancy hats. Look at that. All right, this guy wins. All right, this guy wins. He got like the coolest hat so far. That's a cool one. You don't like this music? Why, Fiore? All right, Scioli and everybody from France. This is Cartier. This is Cartier. Look at that. The entire building is Cartier. You know, the funny thing is like every Cartier that I've seen in London, New York, you know, San Francisco, Lisbon, they pretty much have the same types of buildings, and they usually have like really nice designs on the outside, and it's like you can tell it's a place of high end and quality. You could tell, you know. All right, friends, it looks like there's a loud music going on. They're trying to get me in trouble now with. All right, let's see if we can mute it for a second. Greetings to you, ray of sunshine. Greetings, greetings. I had to mute because of, you know, copyright issues. I had to mute it. All right, we've got a little puppet show over here.
Did you come to meet me? Do you know who this is? Yeah, live and in the shell. Step right, up with the chance move. Only in New York. All is starting again. Meet the legend.
Greetings to you, Catherine McKay, Silvio Cateno. Happy Easter, everybody. Happy, happy, happy Easter. Wow, everybody got their nice hats on. Some people got some little extra in there, you know. right, friends. I'm gonna try to head in different directions so I can see as much as possible and share as much as possible. All right. Oops, excuse me. Oh, I guess this is where everybody is. Okay. Okay. Terry's asking, are you wearing an Easter bonnet hat? No. No. No, I'm not. No. That's a good question, though. That is a good question. All right. Oh, man. That guy made like a whole extra outfit. Oh, you really thought that potato was moving on its own? What's up, Nico? What's going on? We got a little Caribbean Day parade over here, my friend. All right, friends, and right here in front of me is the St. Patrick's Cathedral. One of my favorite places in New York City. One of the top places I would visit in New York, or that I would come to often. All right, somebody's giving out candy, sweets. This is nice, right? St. Patrick's, yes, that is correct. St. Patrick's Cathedral, that is correct.
I'll give you a couple things. Your parents are way more.
I'm trying to be open-minded.
Hold on.
Oh, somebody made a prime hat. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing right now? I think he's probably talking about like waste, you know, how Amazon wastes a lot of materials to send out packages. I think that's, oh, sorry. I think that's the message. Easter bunnies, all the people with the hats. I'm assuming like these people actually made some of these hats. I don't know if you could. Can you buy them like this? Can you? Is that possible?
Where are you?
Is there like a hat store with these like specific crazy hats? More adults than kids. Oh yeah, way more adults. That's a good observation, Catherine. Yeah, I think it looks like the adults actually put a lot of effort into this than the kids. Yeah, the kids are nowhere to be seen. Kapil Dubey, love brother from India. Greetings to you, Jai Hind. Handmade hats, that makes sense. I've never seen these in stores. Happy Easter, D. Cesar 08. Happy Easter to you. All right, the sun is out, friends. Sorry. Oh, excuse me. The sun is out, friends. The sun is out. The sun is out. It's a beautiful day. All right, somebody brought their cat. A cat with a hat. That's funny. All right, more to see, more to see. Let's see what else we can see over here. Oh, there's a long line to get inside the church, I guess.
The streets blocked off on the 51st. I think it's
Annie, hi Rob from Manchester, UK. Happy Easter. Happy Easter to all of you. You know, one of the things that I have never tried in New York is this. I have never tried it. Smells good, it looks good, but I don't know. Never tried it. I have fried cashews, fried pecans, peanuts, almonds, mixed nuts. Do you guys have this in the UK? You know, in the US, we fry everything. We fry Twinkies, we fry bananas, we fry ice cream, we fry Oreos, we fry, I don't know, everything. We like to fry everything. I don't know if it's the same in Europe. I highly doubt it. I don't know, maybe in England, maybe in the UK, I don't know. All right, let's go down this way and see what else we can see. There's a
too close.
excuse me. There has to be more on this side. You guys fry everything? You guys fry everything? Just like us? I don't know. Like, I had some friends in college, you know, from Europe, and they used to be like disgusted at some of the things that they see in the U.S. They're like, oh, how can you do this? You know, oh, this and that. You know, like peanut butter with jelly. It's not that, apparently it's not that common in Italy. So one of my friends from Italy is like, oh, what is this? You know, why do you guys do this? He was like kind of surprised, you know. Rockefeller Center, baby, fried pickles. Yes, we fry pickles too. We fry everything. We fry everything, my friend. Absolutely true. All right. So, here we go. Everybody's rollerblading on this side. It kind of looks small though. Fried gummies? We fry gummies too? That I did not know. I did not know we fry gummy bears. Are you serious? I think we've taken it too far. Really? We fry gummies? I hope not. I hope you're joking. But I wouldn't be surprised. I shouldn't be surprised. All right, friends, let's go back to the hats and all the celebrations and all the fanciness. All right, let's get closer maybe, a little bit. Just a little bit. You know, for the life of me, I don't even know how to do this thing. I don't know how to skate. I don't know how to rollerblade. I don't know how to ski, snowboard. All right. Hey, Deep Howls of Vlog. Greetings to you. All right, friends, I had to mute it for a second because of the music. It was kind of too loud. I couldn't hide it. All right. Let's keep going, let's keep going, let's keep going, let's keep going, let's keep going. And go to the other side, go back to the other side. All right, I see more kids now on this side at least. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing right now? Ah, this is like some 1940s, 50s stuff, right? So many different styles today, friends. Lots and lots of styles. Everybody's taking pictures, you know. Birmingham close-up, greetings. Marcela G. Rosa, we are lunch now and watching you. Marcela and Suli from Sao Paulo, greetings. Greetings, greetings. All right, let's step on this direction. I also learned something new recently. Rio de Janeiro is called Rio de Janeiro because it was founded in January. Is that right? Rio de Janeiro. It was founded in January, so they called it Rio de Janeiro. Is that true? Can anybody confirm? Anybody from Brazil? Brazil. Greetings to you, Andres Capil. Come to our city sometime. Thank you for meeting. Absolutely. I would love to make it to different cities. My goal is to make it to different cities, explore different cities around the world. Hopefully sometime in the future. But yeah, that's my goal. Yeah, I hope to make it to Punjab, Gujarat, New Delhi, possibly Tamil Nadu, Goa. I'd love to visit India. Indoor? Oh, I don't know where indoor is.
Did you guys go this way?
But no, I've never been to India, but I'm pretty familiar with India.
Sweetie, I'm sorry you didn't get to go in, but you know, we're just not going to buy everything. There are so many people.
Bob, greetings. Hi from Pittsfield, Massachusetts. It was snowing earlier in the morning. No way. In April? Man, Massachusetts is on another level. Interesting.
This guy's vlogging.
Oh, sorry. How you doing? Yes.
Who's on the vlog?
Yeah, I'm vlogging. Yep.
How many people are watching?
300.
What's this on?
Walk, ride, fly. Where are you from?
I'm from London.
Nice. We have a few people from Manchester.
Oh,
You want to say hello?
nah, I don't like. Not Manchester.
What about you? Where you from again? What
London.
city? Oh, London. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I was in London a couple of weeks ago.
Really? Where'd you go?
Just the city, around the city. But I've been there a few times. I've been to like the Shard and
Yeah.
you know, I've been to, Elizabeth Tower, right? That's the actual name. Big Ben.
Yeah, Big Ben.
Yeah, I've been
And
there before.
It's the bell that's called Big Ben.
Exactly, but it's Elizabeth Tower, right?
That's the one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been. I love London, man.
Yeah, beautiful place.
Beautiful place.
You know what, if you want to stay. No, but I'm, no, come on.
London, yep. We do have a lot of people from London in this city, actually. Just like, you know, you would find people from New York and London. You do have a lot of people from London who move here, or just from the UK in general. Happy Easter, everybody. Happy Easter. Hey, Bob from Pittsfield. My dad is in Bradford Street. Where are all the full-on dressed bunny rabbits? Oh, I don't know. It looks like it's all about hats over here. I mean, some people have those like clip-on bunny hats, like that one right there, like those people right there. But yeah, not a full bunny. This is more like for like adults. I think the actual like bunny suits are for kids, right? Yeah, this is like adults with like fancy hats and outfits, you know. We do have a lot of people from London, don't we? And maybe some people from Manchester as well. Alfred Close, greetings. Maybe today you didn't get the notification, huh? Usually you're like the first person to join in. What is this lady supposed to be? Look at that.
Sure. Do you want to give me my phone so I can...
Oh, God. I thought I brought my battery charger.
Some of the people, they look like they just got back from Kentucky Derby or something. That's pretty cool. They look like they just came back from the Derby in the Hamptons. Oh well. Let's see. Oh, Queen of Hearts. Yes, you're right, Ruby. How did I not know that? You are correct. You are right. All right, friends. And this line right here is the line to get into the church for service. Look at that. This is the line. All right, let's stand here and see what we can find. Marcela, you wanted to see me in those bunny hats, bunny ear hats? The clips? No. Not today. Not for me. Hey. So this is the line to get in for the service, right? For the 1 o'clock or maybe 2 or whatever you can get in. Okay. And it goes all the way down. Ooh. Yeah, but I guess today's a special day. Makes sense. Exactly. She looks more like Queen of Hearts. Oh, this is the section where like all the dogs show up, all the dressed up dogs, you know, with the outfits and everything. Happy Easter to you, Shabir Lokahadwala. Happy Easter. Oops, sorry.
No, you're good.
I just stumbled upon this one. I'm like, I gotta stop by and check out. I was gonna walk away. I was like, this is cool.
Don't miss the joke.
Exactly. This is so cool. Look, it's all the way down there.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a cool contraption you got there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is actually pretty good. I had a different one, but this one is so good. It's very, look at it, like it's so smooth. You know what I mean? And it's so easy to like, you know, just clip on the phone and just like walk around, record, take like awesome pictures.
Like that's really cool.
And you can like fold it, collapse it, and like put it in your pocket. You know, very light. It's so cool. What you got in there? Hey, Latunia, hi. Hi. I know it's too cold, right?
Yeah, she's like,
I know. I'm
we haven't
like,
been out in like 2 years.
Oh, exactly. You have to take exactly.
So she's
That's-
like, what are all these people? Oh, silly girl. Hey, silly girl.
She's like, I'm not in the mood. And Adam Nobby, thank you so much for the super chat. An Easter bonnet is a new or fancy hat worn by tradition as a Christian head covering on Easter. Nice. Thank you for that, Adam. Adam Nobby. Thank you so much. Okay, some of the stuff is very interesting. Very, very interesting. But here we have a lot of dogs inside these strollers and bags. Birmingham Close-Up is asking, which gimbal are you using? I'm using DJI Osmo. DJI Osmo. And I actually bought it in London. I bought it at, I forgot the name of the store. But it's in Chelsea. The store's in Chelsea. All right, this is very interesting. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. We've been here for too long. All right, many dogs, many dogs. All these small dogs, all chihuahuas over here. Look at that. All these chihuahuas been taken care of very nicely. Oh. Interesting. All right. Let's go down this way. Kapil. Actually, I don't read Hindi. I don't read Sanskrit. I wish I did though, but no, I don't. Look at the line to get inside the church, friends. Look at this line. Look at this line. Today has to be like one of the most busiest days for the church. I've never seen it this crowded for years, for at least 2 years. Silvio Arcaiteno, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy Easter. Thank you so much, Silvio. And Adam Nobby, thank you so much to both of you.
Oh, I see.
Thank you. All right. I wish I could get inside the church right now. Look at this. Love to see churches crowded and packed. I love it. It's beautiful. Oh, sorry. Almost as crowded as Christmas time. No, I think this is more crowded than Christmas time. You don't think so? I don't know. I feel like this is more crowded than it was Christmas time. Because Christmas time is more like people, walking in and out quickly, like, tourists. But this time it's actually people attending sermons, attending service. And it's super packed. And the line, look at the line. This is the line to get in. The line wraps around the building and goes all the way to the other side. It's super packed.
I just need to drop this at Coach. And I forgot. I legit forgot what that way? Isn't that why it's so important?
Let's finish this.
See, as soon as everybody leaves, they lock it, and then you have to like wait in line to get in. My name is Rob Cathedral. My name is Rob. Or you could just call me Walk, Ride, Fly. Either one is fine. Either one is fine. Wait a minute, did they just open it? What? All right, friends, we're gonna sneak in, okay? It's now open for everybody, friends. We're gonna walk in.
No sé dónde está.
Yes, friends, we got in. We got so lucky. Oh my God. We were supposed to wait in line. It so happened to be at the right place at the right time. This is amazing. No waiting in line, friends. We are in. What a lucky, lucky day. I gotta be honest, I feel lucky today. I kind of looked at the line, I'm like, nah, I don't think I'd be able to get in.
Me too, go.
Right at that spot, they just opened it up for everybody. This is fantastic. All right, friends, we are at St. Patrick's Cathedral. This is also the seat of the Archdiocese of New York, just FYI. To buy a lottery ticket, right? I know. Today's a good day. I'm telling you, today is a good day. No waiting in line. Nothing. I know, right, Valerie? Oh, man. I honestly didn't think I was going to be able to get in. I saw the line, right? I mean, the line was like way too long, so I was like, I don't think I'll be able to make it. But then they opened the door, and here we are, friends. This is beautiful. This is amazing. All right, friends, we are gonna see if we can get in maybe at the middle, since I have a camera. Gonna be vlogging. Okay, maybe I'll go to the middle. This is a beautiful cathedral, friends. All right, friends, out of respect, I'm not gonna be able to say much right at this time.
To our guests visiting but not attending Mass today, we ask that you please be reverential and respectful
Yes, can you please rise and join in singing our entrance hymn, which can be found in the online worship program. Jesus Christ is risen today.
Cathedral. And ask that Almighty God to be gracious to us on this day. Fight us into the hope of new life and resurrection.
Guys, pictures back here.
In the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The Lord be with you. The mysteries of Easter, God's vindication of all that Jesus taught and did, the victory of life over death, the overcoming of sin by grace, are so marvelous that one day cannot do them justice. We, in fact, have this entire week to hear the stories, the appearances of the risen Jesus to his followers. Moreover, we have 50 days to joyfully celebrate Easter, culminating with the Feast of Pentecost, God's outpouring of the Spirit of life. The Lord is risen. The Lord is risen indeed. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Go ahead.
Here
can walk.
Son have conquered death and unlocked for us the path to eternity. Grant, we pray, that we who keep the solemnity of the Lord's resurrection may, through the renewal won by your Spirit, rise up in the light of life. For our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, lives and reigns with you in unity of the Holy Spirit, God, forever. Amen.
A reading from the Acts of the Apostles. Peter proceeded to speak and said, "You know what has happened all over Judea, beginning in Galilee after the baptism that John preached, how God anointed Jesus of Nazareth with the Holy Spirit and power. He went about doing good and healing all those oppressed by the devil, for God was with him. We are witnesses of all that he did, both in the country of the Jews and in Jerusalem. They put him to death by hanging him on a tree. This man God raised on the third day and granted that he be visible, not to people, but to us, the witnesses chosen by God in advance, who ate and drank with him after he rose from the dead. He commissioned us to preach to the people and testify that he is the one appointed by God as judge of the living and the dead. To him all the prophets bear witness that everyone who believes in him will receive forgiveness of sins through his name. The word of the Lord.
All right, friends, that was St. Patrick's Cathedral. That was beautiful. That was super, super beautiful. We got so lucky today. Happy Easter, everybody. That was a big luck to be able to just stand there and be able to walk in without waiting in line. That was amazing. That felt good. Easter Mass and St. Patrick's, how wonderful this is. Thank you so much. Anytime. Even though it was for a few minutes. I could definitely spend the day there, to be honest. I could spend the entire day there. Woo! All right. We're out and about, back to the streets, friends. Let's see what we can find. Anything interesting, anything exciting, anything cool, fancy, anything. That was beautiful, right? Greetings to you, Sabrina, Jersey Devil, Kurt Flirt. Happy Easter, everybody. All right, the sun is out and let's see, yeah, it's a lot warmer too. And it's not windy, so this is perfect. This is fantastic. Let's see what we have here. Let's see what we got on this. That was beautiful, right, Alex? Anytime, Ray of Sunshine, anytime. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad. This guy's aggressive. He's like, put the money. Right at the end of his show, he's like, put the money, put the money. Don't clap, put the money. That's New York for you right there. Oh my. That's funny. He's like, don't clap, put money. Drop some money, don't just clap. That was funny, right? St. Patrick's is by far the most beautiful church in America. I have not been to a lot of cathedrals and churches throughout the United States, only mainly like on the East Coast. But to be honest with you, of all the churches and cathedrals that I've been to, nothing compares to St. Patrick's, nothing. And of all the places that I've been to in different countries, I would say this is like in the top 5 or 6. For me at least, and for me, the number one cathedral that I love and, you know, never get tired of visiting is the Duomo Cathedral in Milan. The Duomo Cathedral is just something else, magnificent. I could literally just stand outside, inside, anywhere and just stare at it for hours at a time. It is magnificent, it's beautiful, it's just out of this world. Both have the same, like, you know, neo-Gothic type architecture, and it's just, but the other one is more elaborate, it's humongous. Alex Mondelli knows what I'm talking about. Not even shy about it, right? I thought, yeah, he's like, where's the money? Because, you know, some people just stand there, sometimes, you know, just enjoy the show, you know, enjoy the entertainment, whatever it might be, and then just walk away, you know? So he's like, and then, you know, they just clap and, you know, usually just walk away. He's like, no, just, yeah, no clapping. Drop the money, put the money. That's so funny. It's like, where's the money? Show me the money. I gave you something, give me something. That's New York, man. That's New York. Welcome to New York. Welcome to New York. Daryl is asking, Rob, have you heard of Holy Name Catherine in Chicago? No, I've actually never been to Chicago, but I do know you guys have the biggest Starbucks Reserve in the world. It's like 7, 8 floors, right? But no, I've never heard of that church. I do love visiting churches. I've been to a lot of churches in New York City, and one thing that I can tell you is, like, there's hundreds of churches throughout the city. I still haven't seen that many. I mean, even though I've seen a lot, I've been to a lot of churches, I still haven't seen a whole lot. I gotta be honest with you. There's one church at least on every other block in New York City. Lots of beautiful churches throughout the city. Old churches too. New churches, old churches, different kinds of Catholic churches, Presbyterian, Episcopalian, Protestant. Jay Fox, thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. We have a super chat from Jay Fox. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. I appreciate you. Happy Easter to you as well. All right, somebody got a bald eagle in their backpack. I don't know. The sun is out now. Yes, very beautiful. It's a beautiful day, absolutely. It's kind of cold and windy, and now it's a whole lot better. It's a whole lot better. All right. Looks like it's kind of dying down on this side. How lucky are we to have like the whole 5th Avenue blocked off for traffic? That rarely ever happens, so this is a good day. This is what I like to do, friends. Right in the middle of the street, at the right angle, and you look up. Look how beautiful this is. Robert Sabroal and Lars in Germany. I think you're gonna like this one, right at this angle. Friends, and right here to the right, as you already know, this is the famous Saks Fifth Avenue. This is where they have the Christmas light show every year. This is the right place for that. Beverly is saying, great work, Rob. Thank you, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the support. Thank you so much. It looks like Saks Fifth Avenue is closed today. I used to think that, you know, this Saks Fifth Avenue is like the headquarters, or like, you know, this. I thought this is where Saks Fifth Avenue started, but it actually started in DC. Then they expanded to New York, but they actually started in DC. But yeah, so this entire building right here is Saks Fifth Avenue. Very fancy place, a lot of fancy brands, fancy items, fancy shoes, bags, hats, clothes, everything. Watches, jewelry. Earth Angel 777. So pretty there today. It's cool. Nice. It sure is. It was not like that about 20-30 minutes ago, but it's getting better. It sure is getting better. It sure is getting better. Greetings to you, Maria Schultz, Valerie Wood. Greetings to all of you. Thought it was the flagship. Sabrina, yes, this is the flagship. What I meant is, like, this is not where it started, because I used to think that this is where, you know, like when I first came to New York, I was like, oh, this has to be where Saks Fifth Avenue started, because when you hear Saks Fifth Avenue, you associate it with New York, right? You think, you know, the company or the store started in New York, but that's not the case. Started in DC. All right. This is kind of interesting. And Adam Nobby, great video graphic shot, Rob, of Fifth Avenue. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Ricardo Holloway saying, looks like the whole of the Wizard of Oz, right? Kind of looks like a movie set, to be honest.
Thanks for sharing. I apologize. Of course.
Blue skies today, at least right now. Yeah, so I mean, you know, technically it's supposed to be spring, but like I said, you know, it's New York, you never know. Today could look, you know, beautiful, amazing, and then great weather, and then a couple of days later it could just be completely different. All right. Wow, this guy really spent a lot of time on his hat. Happy Easter to you, Maria Scholes. Happy Easter. Happy Easter to all of you. Where did all these people come from? I'm assuming mostly from New York and maybe from out of state.
Can I take a picture too?
Yeah, this guy's winning right now. All right, now. Oh, nice. That's looks like a Ukrainian flag right there. That's nice. And then we got Uncle Sam too. Uncle Sam is here. We the people. That's right. That was Uncle Sam. That was Uncle Sam. Okay. Oh, that's fun. I don't know why Chihuahuas are like always angry, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's that, I don't know, it's just maybe they're a little insecure about their size and they need, you know, they feel the need to like bark at everybody, thinking that they're gonna get attacked or something. But they're always just like barking and aggressive. They're usually like suspicious, you know, suspicious of everybody that walks by, that passes by.
They used to have tables.
All right, so the ice ring has now turned into a little. All right, so I'm kind of worried about the music, so I'm gonna stay away as far as possible from the speakers, so I don't get any copyright violations or notices. I'll do my best to show you as much of it as possible. All right, you know what? Maybe this year, maybe just maybe, I might learn to do this. This has to be a lot easier than skiing, right? Or ice skating. It has to be a lot easier, right? I gotta try this. They drink coffee. Who does drink coffee? I haven't had my coffee today. I need my coffee. I definitely need my coffee. All right, so apparently Usher was here a couple of days ago, and I didn't know about it. I didn't hear about it until after it was, you know, after he left. But in any case, yeah, so Usher was here a couple of days ago when they opened it. No worries. When they opened this venue right here. And yeah, it was a big celebration, man. It was a big party. And I didn't know about it. I was not invited to it. It's crazy. Nobody invites me to anything anymore. I don't get invited to anything. In any case, that was the Rockefeller Center. Jersey Devil is saying hurts just as bad when you land on your flat. Is it that bad? I don't know. This seems easier. I mean, it's 4 wheels, right? How hard could it be? Okay, ice skating, I understand. You know, so it's a blade. It's just kind of hard, you know. But this one, how hard could it be? Maria Schultz is saying feisty dogs, right? I don't know why Chihuahuas are just always angry. I'm like, can you calm down? Why are you just so angry? All the time. Life is short. All right, so somebody asked me to go inside the Foul Shores store, but maybe not today. I'll do it another time. I've done it before. I've walked inside that store. It's a beautiful store. Has a lot of nice toys.
Between himself and others. These return your brothers, retrieve your belongings from your locker, and make your way out of the venue. Thank you for joining.
All right, I'm kind of tempted to jump in, friends. I don't know. I'm a little tempted. Just kidding. Not today. Just kidding. Just kidding. And right in front of us, we have the NBC Studios. NBC Studios in New York City. Coming to you live from the NBC Studios at the Rockefeller Center in New York City. All right, I guess I gotta walk. All right, this is where they tape the Today Show on NBC. Right there. Here we have Lodi Restaurant, very nice restaurant, wine bar. Restaurant/wine bar. Rough when you fall with four wheels. Now you guys are scaring me. I don't know. It kind of looked easy, at least from a distance. It always looked easy. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll give it a try. But I guess I'm not gonna try it now. You guys are scaring me. All right, for all of you who are Nintendo lovers like I am, who grew up playing Nintendo, here we have a Nintendo store. I honestly actually miss Nintendo, like, you know, the Game Boy ones, you know, the color ones. Oh man, I was addicted to that. Kind of miss it though. All right, friends, just give me a second here. I need to charge. There we go. It's 30 to 40 bucks to skate there. Yeah, you have to pay, and then I think you have to rent. I'm not sure if that $30 includes the rental for the skates. I'm not sure. But I thought it was like 25, 26 bucks. Is it 30 to 40? Huh. Interesting. All right, friends, we're gonna cross the Rockefeller Plaza and then maybe go back to Fifth Avenue. Go back to where the action is. Go back to where the action is. All right. Oh, it includes the rentals, skate rentals. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know, for some reason I thought it was like 22, 25. Oops. London, UK. Greetings. I love to see people from London. I love it. You know I love London. I love seeing people from London. Golden skates, what are those?
Yeah.
What are golden skates? Yeah, so I believe this new skate installation is going to be here for some time. For at least a couple of months. And then fall comes, and then they have to build, they have to install the ice skating rink. And then life of New York starts again. Christmas time, holidays. Coffee time. Yes, I do need my coffee. I haven't had my coffee today. I haven't had my coffee today. I feel kind of like I'm missing something. I haven't had my coffee yet. Rob, how about a skateboard? A skateboard? No, I don't know how to skateboard. I don't know how to skateboard. I don't know how to ski. I don't know how to snowboard. Yeah. None of that. But I wanted to try this one, but you guys scared me. You're like, oh, you're gonna break your face. You're like, you're gonna break your whole body. Don't do it. Because this kind of looked easy. I'm like, I could do this. I could do this. I tried skateboarding. I tried it a couple of times, but I failed. You know what I mean? I got a couple of injuries. Not like a serious injury, but like I fell a few times. So I was like, maybe this is not for me. Maybe this is not for me. And then I was kind of disappointed because my cousins and my brothers, you know, they were able to do it. They did it. They learned it. And then there I was. There I was. Failed a few times. I stopped. Oh, that's... This guy got a nice hat, a cigar. He's like, got a nice watch. That's a nice one. Is that the new one? Nice.
The
5.4. I have the 4, yeah.
It's okay. I'm gonna like it.
You just got it? Nice. That looks very nice. Look at that.
Thank you, thank you.
And you got the little pink color, light pink.
No.
Oh, it looks light
So
pink.
which one is yours? No, you can see
No, what I meant is like the color. The color. I've never seen that color before.
No, it's just white.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it kind of looks pink.
No, it's white.
Have a good one. Have a good one. What's my favorite football team? You mean soccer? Like European soccer or American? American football or like British soccer? Or like, I shouldn't say British, but like the world soccer. Like the world football. I know you guys get a little touchy on that subject. Oh, wait a minute. That's not soccer. It's football. Oh, you could do a 360? What? That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna give it a try one day. Maybe after like, you know, a few shots of espresso, maybe I might be able to do it. You like Liverpool? Actually, when I was a kid, I used to like Arsenal. When I was a little kid, like one of my favorite players, I forgot his name now. Let me think. He's a French player, and he used to play for Arsenal. Oh, Nicolas Anelka. Nicolas Anelka, that's the name. Nicolas Anelka. He was one of my favorite players. So yeah, I used to root for Arsenal. Yes, Terry Andre, or Henry. Yes, Terry Andre. That's right. To the coffee or London Fund Governor. Thank you so much, Gary Ting. That's very nice of you. I hope to visit London someday soon. I really miss it. I love London, you know. Hopefully I see you again. Hopefully I go back to London again. I would love to go to London sometime soon. Maybe next year. But yeah, is it Henry or Andre? Terry Andre or Terry Henry? I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. He was one of my favorite players too. But no, Nicolas Anelka. Nicolas Anelka was like he was more my favorite than Terry Andre. Oh, that's a nice segue right there. Nice. Hello. Andre. Okay, I think that's, yeah, I knew there was like some slight like variation on how you say his name, so I wasn't sure, but yeah. But no, I was talking about Nicolas Anelka. I think the French people know what I'm talking about. Oh, nice. Hello, Patrick. How are you doing? Everybody's having a good time today. Happy Easter, everybody. Happy Easter again. Today is a good day.
Beautiful.
I barely ever watch any movies, so I don't know what the characters are. But I'm assuming some of these are like movie characters, right? Amount of coffee, settling for tea. Tea is good as well. Maybe Earl Grey tea, English breakfast tea. That would be amazing.
And Chris.
Lee Barber is saying he's French like Anelka. That is correct. Yes, both Terry Andre, Nicolas Anelka. What was the other one that I remember when I was a kid? Man, I'm forgetting now. There were a few good. I mean, Zidane, of course. Zidane, you know what I mean? Zinedine Zidane. Zinedine Zidane.
Well, you're smiling.
And you're smiling in New York. Okay, I'm gonna have to walk away from the music.
Like she's in Paris for a month.
All right, friends. Everybody having a good time? Is everybody enjoying the show today? The Bonnet Parade, the Easter Parade on 5th Avenue, and we got to see we got to attend Mass at St. Patrick's. Even though it was for a little bit. I hope everybody's having a good time. I hope everybody's having a good Easter so far. New York City FC or New York Red Bull. No, I gotta be honest with you. I haven't really watched or followed soccer since I was maybe like, I don't know, for many years. So I don't know. I know we do have like some soccer, teams in New York and throughout the United States, but no. Yeah, I don't really watch soccer, to be honest. I used to when I was a kid, though. I used to watch a lot of soccer. I used to watch all sports. I used to watch all kinds of sports when I was a kid. Now life is just a sport, so I focus on life. Life is a sport by itself, you know. You don't even need a jersey. Oh, this is the bunny. This is where the bunny is. There we go. We got the Easter bunny right here. This is where the Easter bunny is. Finally. There you go. I like to see the city full of people on the streets. That's right. That's what New York is supposed to be, right? New York is supposed to be full of people, crowded, you know, chaotic, crazy, loud, obnoxious, peaceful, everything. So yeah, it's good to see. It's really, really good to see the city like this, to be honest. At least on a holiday, you know? Because otherwise, I don't know, it's kind of weird for New York. Maria Schultz, thank you for sharing the beauty and joy of Easter in New York City today, Rob. Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you, Maria Schultz. Thank you so much for the support. That's very nice of you. Thank you so much. And happy Easter to everybody as well. Thank you so much. All right. Got another Easter bunny right there. Let's see. Okay, this Easter bunny got a Converse on.
Why so serious?
Will M, greetings to you. Greetings.
Yeah, Bad Bunny. Nah, I like that one. Yo.
Somebody called him Bad Bunny. That's funny. The Mighty Bull. Happy Easter, my friend. Thank you so much, Mighty Bull. Thank you so much. Happy Easter. Oh, you got the same one. Oh, that's...
Are you doing a live show?
Yeah.
On YouTube?
Yeah.
I was earlier today.
Oh, you were? Nice.
What's your name on YouTube?
Rob. Well, my name is Rob.
Rob? What's your channel?
Walk Right Fly.
Oh, you walk right fly. Hi.
Yeah, hi.
This is my first time in NYC.
Oh,
good to meet you.
man. How you doing? That's you?
Yeah,
I didn't know.
I didn't know you either.
Okay.
I saw you earlier. Who's that guy?
Who's that guy? Who's this guy?
Good to finally meet you. And Tony Day is one of your moderators.
What was that?
Tony Day?
Oh, yeah. Of course,
You recommended your channel to me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Buffalo.
Yeah,
Is Tony Day there?
not right now. Not right
He's
now.
walk right fly.
Oh, yeah.
Boogie Bob.
Boogie Bob. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Good to see you.
Good seeing you as well.
Such a great guys.
Nice to meet you.
Walk, ride, fly.
Walk Right
That's
Fly.
right.
Boogie Bob.
I
Nice
don't
to
have
meet
tell
you.
you,
Yeah, I've
most
never
of my
met
subs
him.
already know.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the best.
Story Day recommended him to me.
And me as well. And I met you when they had the Ferris wheel in Times Square.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. That's
I
right.
know.
Remember,
You
yeah, we
were
were in line.
right.
Exactly.
But
I want you all to have the best time ever.
Same
And
here.
I want my guys, leave me right now and go check him out.
No, don't do
that.
It's very good.
You guys have a great time. God bless you.
He's my God bless you. Nice.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you as well, man. Very nice seeing you. I didn't know who it was. Nice.
If Tony Day is there, super shout out Tony Day.
I don't think he's there today, but usually he is though. Not today though. Maybe. Are you doing live right now or?
Oh, no, earlier it was live.
Oh, you are. Okay, just
filming, taking pictures.
I already did yours. Oh, nice.
Again, really good to meet you.
Good to meet you as well, my friend. Thank you. Have a good one. All right, that was a coincidence. Fernando and Boogie Bob. That is correct. Norman Ross. Greetings to you, Norman. All right, we got Messi right here. Lionel Messi. Nice. Wait, is he playing for Paris Saint-Germain now? Okay. He was in Spain, right? Before Madrid or Barcelona? Messi. Real Madrid. Oh, okay. Now in Paris Saint-Germain. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, we do actually have a Paris Saint-Germain store. How do you say Paris Saint-Germain? We do have a store here on 5th Avenue. We have their store. So windy. So actually I had my external mic on. That's why you didn't hear the wind earlier. But now I had to switch it to the cable for the charger because the battery was kind of low. So I had to take it out. So that's why it's a bit windy right now. But it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. It's a lot better than it was like an hour ago. Or maybe like 2 hours ago. Alright, so I guess this is where all the cool people are. This is where all the cool people with the cool hats hang out. Barcelona, okay. He was in Barcelona, now in Paris Saint-Germain. I do know the highlights, even though I don't watch soccer, but I do know some of the highlights, you know. Some of the main highlights of like Ronaldo and Messi. Ronaldo, what was the other guy? What is the other guy? The French guy. Mbappe. He's at Paris Saint-Germain as well, right? Wow. This is like the best outfit I've seen. Earlier I saw you holding a cigar. I was like, man, nice. Yours is the best. I don't even smoke cigar, but he made it look so cool. You know, with the nice suit on and nice watch. That's
Westie, that's right, Westie. I have an Airedale, a wire paw, and a Welsh Terrier. Those are my 3 dogs. They're the best. The Westie, yeah. That's what my parents want next.
Those dogs are having a good time. Those dogs are really, really having a good time. Getting all the attention, all the love. Sorry, no worries. Very stylish, right? Yeah, he kind of looked like he was in a movie or something. He had like a big cigar on, or smoking a big cigar. Rolex watch, nice shoes, nice suit.
Where the money at? Where the money at? No, where the money at?
Yeah, see, this guy's like, he's like, where's the money? Where's the money? There's no free entertainment. There's no free service. He's like, let's go, put the money. This is New York, man. I love New York. He's like, don't just sit down, you know what I mean? Don't just stand here and enjoy the show. Pay up. That's funny. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Like stops every 5 minutes and he's like, where's the money? Where's the money? Put the money. Show me the money. Where's the money at? Right? The Jersey Devil. I thought that was funny. I mean, you see a lot of that in New York, though. It's not that surprising, you know what I mean? Like, people would offer you, like, would, you know, would show you, like, an entertainment or anything like this. Like, you have to contribute something. That's funny, right? All right, I'm gonna chip in as well since I was standing here and watching. Thanks. I'm just waiting for him to say, like, pay up, show me the money, where's the money? I'm waiting for him to be like, where's the money? That's right, ray of sunshine. You have to. Otherwise, it's gonna be like, hey, don't just get entertained for free. Don't enjoy the show for free. It's probably gonna be like, pay up. Watching, listening, and enjoying. Happy Easter to everybody. Happy Easter.
What's your pet peeve?
Got some art stuff over here. It's a lot of fun, right? It's kind of slowing down, but it's still good. Man, that lady's still dancing. She must have had a lot of coffee today. Probably had a couple of shots of coffee. I don't know. I would dance if I had a couple of shots of coffee. I don't know. Maybe if I have like 3-4 shots of espresso. I haven't had any today, so I'm glad I'm walking. That's all I need. I can't dance right now. Let me stand in the middle and give you a nice view of 5th Avenue. You know what? Today, for some reason, I've not even seen one celebrity at all. Usually in these types of events, you see at least one celebrity, but not today. What is this guy supposed to be? I think maybe COVID? Maybe COVID? What is this, COVID? All right, let's keep going. 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 Wow. This guy's done now. I didn't think he was gonna stop. It looked like he had a lot of energy. Nice. That's funny, Ida. That's funny. That's hilarious. I guess these guys are the next contestants. Let's see what they got.
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't even notice the shoes. Nice. Nice. I didn't even notice the shoes until she pointed it out. That's cool.
Completes the whole outfit.
You gotta do it all, right?
Exactly.
All right.
Go big or go home.
All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. I took a few.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's cool stuff. What's going on here? All right, friends, should we keep going? Should we keep going? Did you guys have enough today? Should I go and get my coffee? Should I start my day? I actually need to go and eat first and then get coffee afterwards. Get a little coffee afterwards. All right, so this place actually, let me show you this real quick. This place is not open all the time, but this is a coffee shop and the name is Ralph's. So they have a couple of locations throughout the city, and this is one of them. It's the same one that I showed you a couple of weeks ago. It's the same company, Ralph's, the clothing company, Ralph Lauren. It's the same coffee. It's the same coffee shop that it's part of the chain. But yeah, this one being the smallest one, of course. This is the smallest one. But the one I showed you a couple of weeks ago is like the really, really nice one. The one on the east side, on the Upper East Side. Yeah, so yeah, like until I came to New York, I didn't know Ralph Lauren had a coffee shop. I thought they just sell clothes. And then in New York, it's like, oh no. They do more than sell clothes. They have household items, they have furniture, they have coffee, they have pastries. Interesting, right? Yeah, I've actually never bought any coffee from that specific location, but they're kind of popular and they're open some days, and I see that they're closed on other days. I don't know what their schedule is. But I've tried the one on the Upper East Side and it's okay. The coffee's not that great. Gotta be honest. The coffee's not that great. but at least the one on the Upper East Side has a nice ambiance. There's, you know, there's plenty of space to sit down, you know. It's a very fancy looking place. It's very picturesque. Let me put it that way. Time for coffee. Nice. Maybe Lavazza? Lavazza? That's a designer coffee, right? And guess what? Armani Exchange has a restaurant down there. Armani Exchange. The store has a restaurant on 5th Avenue. A lot of people don't know about that. So if you want some fancy place, if you want to go to a fancy place for dinner, for lunch, go to the Armani Exchange restaurant. Oh no, the coffee is not expensive at all. The coffee is like $5-6. It's not expensive. It's like very typical for New York. But I would assume, you know, let's say Armani Exchange or maybe Gucci or Louis Vuitton, you know, sell coffee, then it's probably going to be $10. Probably going to be $15. Jackie is saying, I'm Ukrainian. I send love and may the light of the others on Easter show love. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jackie. Thank you, thank you. Slava Ukrainia. Slava Ukrainia. May God be with Ukraine. Somalia, Yemen, Tigray. Syria. I just had my coffee here in Puerto Rico. It's 2:07 p.m. Nice. Let's see what's going on down here. What's going on?
Everyone on the sidewalks, the street is open. Everyone on the sidewalks, the streets are open. And those open to vehicle traffic, we need you on the sidewalk.
Ah, they're opening up the streets. They're opening up the street. How you doing? Good. Look at this little tiny smart cars. It's so cool. Walk right flies following you. Follow me for what? All right, looks like the street is open. I guess the parade is over. Are those electric? I don't think so. I don't think so. Those are little cute police cars, right? That's fun. You wouldn't expect NYPD to have those, right? But they do. Happy Easter from Brazil. Greetings. Happy Easter to you, everybody in Brazil. Aida Santos is saying, have you ever gone to the village Halloween parade? No, I have not. I've never attended it. Did you like it? Was it good? I mean, I saw some highlights, but I've never been there. I've never attended it. Okay, friends. Greetings from Berlin, Germany. Nice. Jiman Jimmy. Greetings. All the way in Germany. Party's over. Party's over. The police is like, you gotta go. You don't care where you go, but you gots to go. We don't need you here. And friends, if you have Instagram, make sure to follow me on Instagram. It is the same handle, walk, ride, fly. Make sure to follow me. I got some exclusive pictures and videos on my Instagram. All right, friends. Mark your calendar for next Halloween, Rob. Definitely. Unless there's something better, right? We gotta see if there's something better. If there's something better than the village Halloween parade. Gotta wait. We gotta wait and see if there's something better. Something better. All right, friends. We're still on 5th Avenue. All right, friends. It looks like the party is over. And I think it might be time for me to get some food, get some coffee. And friends, if you had enjoyed today's stream, let me know if you got something out of it. Entertainment, insight, anything, let me know. You highly recommend it? I'll give it a try. I'll check it out. There's still a lot of people over there. Thought it was time to go home. What a dress, Cioli, you like it? Oh, I've seen all kinds of things today, I gotta be honest. I have seen a lot of things that I normally would never see or have not seen before. A lot of interesting stuff. Ah, this is the shot that I like on a bright sunny day. Look how beautiful New York City looks, especially 5th Avenue. 5th Avenue is just, it's magnificent, it's beautiful. Happy Easter to you, Susan. Happy Easter. All right. More Easter bunnies on this side. All right, it looks like the street is open now. No more running around on the street. These guys are probably gonna be here for ages.
Wait. There's wind. 2 o'clock.
Wrong. Raining on my parade, unacceptable.
Yori is saying go coffee and pastry. Definitely. I need to get some coffee and pastry. Oh no, maybe like eat something solid first though. I gotta eat something solid. That lady's kind of upset that they're kicking people away. They're telling people to move off the streets. That's funny. Interesting.
Oh, what a bunch of fun. New York City police. It was supposed to be.
I thought it was until 4 too, right?
Well, leave it to New York signs.
And they just cut it off.
They think too much.
They just stop it. They just make the rules right now.
They make it as
they go. Because I thought it was until 4 too. They're like, nope, I'm gonna end it right now. All right, friends and family, I think this might be a good time to end today's stream. And if you do want to support the channel, friends, all the details on how to support the channel are in the description of this video. There are a few ways you can support the channel to bring more walks and live streams to your screens. To bring you live streams as often as possible, as many times as possible, on many event days like this as possible. All right. Anyway, friends, thank you all the mods. Thank you everybody who supported the channel today with super chats. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody who joined in from every part of the world. Germany, Brazil, Argentina, India, United States, UK, Canada, everybody. Thank you, Puerto Rico. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you. Have a good rest of the day, the evening, everybody. Donna Lynn Pryor saying, great stream as always. I've been watching since the Christmas collab with Kenneth, Ariel, Savad. I just wanted to say, keep on showing us what you like about New York City. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Have a good one. And signing off from Fifth Avenue, New York City. Until next time, take care.